Today I want to talk to you about how I gain back 10 plus hours of time a week in my business using automations. Let me know when it comes to your business, what automation do you wish that you're using a lot? My name is Stephanie Parisi, and I love helping small business owners grow their influence and profits online using marketing strategies that actually work. And I'm also the leader of the Parisi Pack, which is my private marketing membership for entrepreneurs. I was calculating a few different things that I'm automating in my business. And there's so much power in doing this, and I really fell into utilizing tech. When I first got started in the online industry space, like I'm a mom, like I have little kids, and it was one of those things where time was always my biggest battle. If you can relate to that, drop a 1 in the comments, but I really never had enough time to work my business. And some people would tell you, oh, it's just because you're not prioritizing things or whatever. Like, you know, we make time for what we prioritize. But I would beg to differ in the sense that sometimes like there's just a level of like, well, I'm prioritizing like feeding my kids and like doing basic hygiene and like all these things, like it really adds up. And so when does like a business owner who's doing it as a side hustle find the time to do the things? And so that's how I really got started with using things to automate in my business. I started my first email list less than 6 weeks into getting started with a network marketing company, my first one ever, but I knew that I just needed to be one to many. Okay, there was a leverage thing here. If I could figure out how to use my time more wisely, then I could like get a lot more done. I save over 60 hours a week using automations in my business right now. And you may be like, how is that even possible? And it's like, I'm going to share the math with you, but I'm also going to tell you like straightforward just what I'm doing. To start with, let me give you some examples of automations that I'm using right now, like the legit thing, and how I'm saving time with it. So for example, in my network marketing business, I have 81 customers right now, and I use SMS Marketing to text them like updates or things like that, okay? So when I text my customers, I'm writing one text. It takes me less than 5 minutes to write that text message, and I send it to 81 people. If I was having to message them individually, it would take me roughly a minute a person, okay, give or take. Even if you're using a script, you still got to go back and change their name, all the different things. And the reasons why I love automations is because you can still make things very personal. It still says, hey, Sally, at the text. And I'm like, hey, Sally, I'm writing this from the elliptical right now. Just wanted to give you a heads up on like what's happening this week, okay? And then I be like, make sure to add this code to your order when you're processing it, okay? So in doing that, I am saving myself 75 minutes a week. So an hour and 15 minutes just by using text message marketing, okay? I use a platform called Project Broadcast. You don't have to learn it from me, but I'll happily give you a link. I pay about $15 a month for it. Every single time I send out a text to my customers, I get multiple people saying, hey, thanks for letting me know, versus the other way around, okay? So that's already an hour and 15 minutes saved. Let's keep rolling with this. The next thing that I do in my business is for scheduling calls with people. And this isn't going to apply to network marketers as much, but it definitely applies to the small business owner, is I use a service called Calendly to book all my calls. Every single day, I'm sending out my link at least once to a person to book a call with me, okay? If I was having to have the conversation back and forth with that person, it would probably take me at least 5 minutes. So by being able to send a link, boom, that's 6 people a week I'm sending a link to. They're able to find a slot to hop on and talk with me, and that's 30 minutes that I'm gaining back just right there. Okay, so that is the second way. Calendly has a free option, okay? It doesn't have to be all the time that you're paying for things. The next thing that I do that is a massive time saver for me is I email my prospects. And on average, I email them twice a week. Now, I don't have a massive email list. This is gonna benefit you whether you have 20 people or like me right now, I have 1741. I have 1,741 people on my list. That's not a huge amount. Considering that I can bring in over 20K a month in my business, like less than 2,000 people on my email list isn't huge. I know there's some of you that already out there have larger email lists than that right now. And the kicker is I'm just big on making people like a super fan So they buy all the things and they jump in big with you, okay? You can do the same thing. When I email my 1,741 prospects every single week, it takes me about 6 minutes to write the email. And you might be like, Steph, that's crazy. Well, I did it today. I literally timed it. I sent out an email and I was like, how long did this take me? And the main reason it's taking me such a short amount of time is because I am repurposing content that I'm already writing on social media. Okay? You can do the same thing. I guarantee it. If you're doing this the right way, you can look back over the last 7 days of your social media posts and be like, oh man, I could have sent that one out by email. Chances are you have more than one post that you could have done that with, all right? Or if it's a YouTube video or something else, you can always send a link to that or a live training, okay? It doesn't have to be something where you're writing long form content. But in sending out that email, it took me 6 minutes. Times that by 2, that's 12 minutes, and this is where the huge time saving comes into point. That alone, I calculated it, is 3,482 minutes. If I reached out to each person individually, the 1,741 people times 2, and it took me a minute to do each, again, which maybe it wouldn't take you that long, but if you're using a script and you're making it personal and you're including their name and making sure you don't say the wrong name in the message or whatever you're doing, it's gonna take you a hot minute, okay? So to reach out to that many people, if I was doing it manually, would take me 58 hours. I do this every single week. Do you begin to see the power of automation here where it's like, wow, in just one shot, I'm reaching that many people every week. And you may be like, Steph, I get your emails. I don't open them. Well, this is where I would say there's lots of people that are reading your messages on Facebook, maybe not replying, or they don't read them. Or like with my case with emails, I don't even care if people don't read the email. Chances are they're still seeing my name in their inbox, and that's just still being like, oh, Steph's still doing her thing. And I book and make calls from my emails every single week. And I would encourage you, if you're like, Steph, I only have like 50 people on my email list, or I only have 20, start where you are and grow. When I started doing this a few years ago, I didn't have thousands of people on my email list. I just had a couple. But the point is that you can grow it, okay? And it makes following up so easy. So I'm able to follow up with my people twice a week and provide them with value versus sending a message, say once every 3 or 4 weeks. So it's just an easy way to really maximize your time. So if that isn't power enough, now we're over 60 hours a week of saved time, but I'm not done yet. The next thing that I like to do is, and I was just helping someone with this last night. I actually was writing this person's email campaign for them. It's 5 emails. When they get a new customer, all they have to do is plug in the customer's name and email, and it triggers an email campaign. And what that is it's 5 emails that are going to get sent out over the course of the next 30 days to that customer. Checking in on that person, making sure their products arrive, making sure they don't have any questions, providing them with amazing free resources, letting them know, hey, like if you have any issues, reach out to me, okay? These are personalized emails with helpful information to someone who already bought in, but it's their first time using the service or the product. And so you want to work on building retention. You're not done with the sale yet. Like it takes me less than 30 seconds to type in a name and an email on my new customer email campaigns. But in that, I'm saving myself from having to send 5 more messages throughout the month to those people. It's saving me a ridiculous amount of time, and it's all just happening on autopilot. Okay, so I'm not having to remember on day 8 to be like, hey, did your products arrive? Are they getting in? Like, message me so I can send you instructions. It's like, no, like, their products are arriving and the messages are being sent. It's just all triggered and it's all automatic. And so it's saving me an additional couple hours a month by not having to reach out to people multiple times throughout the month, checking in on them. That is just a few of the things. I could go on to talk about how I'm using scheduling posts, because I have a content scheduler that allows you to schedule on your profile versus and also in a Facebook group. I'm not talking about how I'm using YouTube, which is its own level of automation, because people then follow my funnel and end up, like a lot of you watching, end up then hopping in this Facebook group, getting my emails, getting triggered on my new prospect email campaign, like all these emails that are just always happening and going on in the background, which allows me to just move people through that funnel faster. Email, SMS, text messaging, Calendly. There's other more complicated tech that I'm not gonna get into right now. I use something called Zapier, which is like connecting dots that zaps on the interwebs from one thing to the other. But the point I would encourage you is, if you haven't started, to just start. Okay, let me know in the comments right now, like drop a I'm using email or I'm using SMS marketing. And if you're not using any of it, tell me in the comments, hey, I want to start using this. If you want my help to do this, I have a couple different options. In the Parisi Pack membership, I have tutorials on everything imaginable, from SMS marketing to email campaigns to email templates to all the different things, all rewritten out so you don't have to start from scratch on those. I also show you how to set it all up, email lists from scratch. And then I also have an option where, depending on what you want, I'll build it out for you or I'll write it for you. Automations make things more personal. Some people are like, oh, Steph, maybe like it's going to be impersonal. No, they make things more personal. You're actually taking better care of people because you're contacting them consistently, and it's not, you don't forget, especially when things are automated. And the next thing is that it puts still the power in the customer's hand. If they don't want to receive it, they can opt out, right? Like, that's the beauty of like proper email lists and SMS marketing and all these things, is there's an unsubscribe button. If they don't want to get it, they can unsubscribe. And it just allows you to continue following up and building your business when you're doing other things. I have people join my email list every single day, and all the automations are just going on in the background. And that, I would say, is how I've been able to grow my business as a busy mom. A lot of days only working 1 to 2 hours is because of automations. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, whether you're watching the live or the replay, and I'll pop back in and I'll engage in conversation with you.